I was asked to check out Charlotte Iserbyt. I'll probably pronounce it wrong. The video I watched is Deliberate Dumbing Down of the World. And she's was into the education system and raising four kids in the education system, plus being a kid myself that was in that education system. Man, I could see so many things that are so wrong in our education world. Partly, um, just the fact that when I was going to school, our school system was really messed up. My geography teacher knew shit about geography, was stone drunk at every class he had. People would go there and get their attendance marked, and then everybody'd slowly go off to the bathroom, one by one, asking permission. And within 5 minutes of doing attendance, there's only me and two other people in the classroom, and this guy had no clue. And this went on for well, practically a year. I ended up getting kicked out of school before the end of the year, but it was like, this is my observation of the school system. When I ended up leaving, this one homeroom teacher that I had, who didn't like my sister, so she wasn't about to like me, she would give me a hard time. And I was one of those perfect kids trying my best to be perfect. And she kicked me out of class once and wrote a nice little foolscap. Like, those are big, long papers of everything I'm doing wrong. I've never been kicked out of class before. I always was a good kid. So it was a new experience for me. I had to wait something like 2 hours to see a vice principal who only told me that, oh, it was a mistake. So I was sort of like chewing him out not to make mistakes like that again. And then he's like, wait a minute, young lady, and pulls out this foolscap. And it's like chewing gum in class and throwing it across the room, and like really, really stupid things like that. But there was definite things I supposedly was doing in classroom, and a whole foolscape full of them. And so I thought the vice principal was joking. So I started laughing and walking out of the room. And he starts getting mad at me, saying, "No, this is serious stuff." And it's like, you're kidding me. That's none of that's true. I can't believe somebody wrote it down. He says, "Yep, well, she did." So I took the paper because apparently to get back into class, I had to write a comment, get her to sign it, and then I can get back in class. So I wrote in the comment, none of this was true. She signed it, and after that, I said, I quit. Because how good is a school system if you're people that are teaching you right from wrong would sit there and make a whole pile of lies about a student and then admit in writing that everything you just said was a lie and I've got something to teach you. Meanwhile, there's an alcoholic and that doesn't know a thing about geography, another art teacher who had a lot of issues. Like, every teacher had their own thing. And when I was there, I seen very little teaching going on. I didn't see, like, what is the purpose of this education? I'm not learning too much here. So I ended up dropping out after that just because I think I could have learned more about life on my own. And then in raising my kids, I felt like I was going to really represent them, like my parents didn't. And yeah, like this girl says, that they infiltrate the ones that kind of see something wrong with the school system. So yeah, I was asked to be the president of the parent association. It's like me being the president for that. I look good on a resume, but didn't go along with a lot of the programs. That very, very small town. Um, a lot of the nobody was aware of anything that was going on. Actually, this particular town that I was president of the parent association was a town where Keedstra, you might want to do some research on that. This is a teacher that really went on for years. He was teaching that the Holocaust didn't happen, and he was teaching the students all of this. And I guess it was really, really bad stuff. But a couple of years after that, my kids went to the same school, and they were the whole entire school system was about teaching my kids how stupid they were and making them feel like they were stupid. And just the testing that went on didn't make any sense at all. It was like, what are you trying to prove with the test like this? And I did notice that I'm trying to teach them morals and values, but the school system sort of teaches them completely different. So I have to teach them right from wrong again after they come home from school, and um, teach them everything that they're supposed to be learning in school, which frankly is impossible when you have 4 kids. And I found, though, a lot more success when somehow I can influence my kids that no, you are smart. The school's just dumb. And yeah, they did ended up dropping out of school, all of them, because of a really bad divorce. The school system really messes up kids if your family goes through hell. And they require that. It's the whole economic system kind of drives families to be torn apart. They need that because who else is going to work the low paying jobs? And that's when the low paying jobs come in. You'll do anything to feed your family if you make it as stressful as possible. Um, the whole drug culture, everything, it's such a high stress manipulation that goes on. And what they do to kids there, they kind of expect them to quit school because then they can get into the factory low paying jobs, the McDonald's. um, Lower paying jobs like that is what you'll end up taking if you don't get an education. But the whole education system is designed, some corporation wants, a bunch of robots, bunch of slave drivers to know certain information. We don't want you to think outside the box. We don't want to let you think by yourself. We just want to train you to be good memorizers, and don't think outside the box. And those people that think out of the box, then they watch you come up the aisle in the education system. If you're really, really smart, they track you. They have a way of finding you out. If you're a genius, um, there's Mensa programs that will track you from the time you're a kid. As soon as there's signs that you're a genius, it gets through the network, and they'll track you. And I've seen a lot of people get messed up with that too, because they really separate them and make them feel that they don't belong to society. And a lot of people that are geniuses have a low EQ, so they've been easily manipulated because EQ is emotional intelligence usually. So it's a mix of left brain and right brain people. Geniuses are usually left brain and can't associate with people, so it's really easy to manipulate you. But I'm still for education. Obviously, I like information, but I don't like the way that it's I don't think our education system is about teaching you anything. This woman definitely says the objective is to challenge kids' belief systems. And that's why it's so hard for parents to raise their kids, because they got a school system that's challenging every single thing you believe in. And it's getting kids to go against parents at all cost. And I see kids wanting to be around their parents. I see kids wanting the love from their parents, but there seems to be a war when you're like a teenager that disrespect your parents at all costs. There's a lot of money being made by having kids being disrespectful, and yet we're going to judge them for being disrespectful and not realizing that, hey, it's our school systems, it's our government systems, it's everybody's teaching them to be disrespectful just so that you can be a job, a police officer to arrest them. It's kind of stupid. But It is a lot to do with this new world order. They're trying to create an awful lot of separation and chaos, so we won't know what the hell is going on. But a good form of education is something that educates you on how your brain works and how to use your brain. And if your brain can imagine anything, then it's possible. But it's while you can come up with the most brilliant ideas, you also have to be, a local thinker. How does it affect me? How do I fit within the world of something I'm creating, and how does your world get affected by it? Not by your assumptions, but actual, does it do any harm to anybody? Are you receptive to complaints from anybody? And anybody that has a sign that, hey, maybe this is a bad direction, it's only a freaking direction. You're still onto a good idea. Just overcome all objectives and you come up with something pretty brilliant if you know how to use your brain. But your brain will constantly give you all of the answers, but you don't know how to think. You have been brain dead intentionally by the government systems, the economic systems. They do not want you thinking outside the box, yet your brain works perfectly outside the box. It has the answer to any question you ever want to find, but you got to know how to use your brain. And I don't see any schools that are teaching kids how to use your brain, how to develop it, how to expand it, be aware of it. Lots of things to know about your brain and how to use it. And that's what I think a school system should be about. Peace out.